Hey y'all, welcome back to another new video. So this week what we are talking about is online therapy platforms, or e-therapy. So I'm sure you guys have all heard of these, like pretty famous ones are like BetterHelp, that has like every YouTuber sponsored. First, let's talk about why would someone even want to use e-therapy in exchange for like traditional sit-down talk therapy. The first option is it's a really good resource for remote or rural areas. And this is because 66% of counties in the United States don't even have a practicing therapist. So if you don't have a therapist anywhere near you, this can be a really good option for you, because obviously you can do it from any mobile phone or laptop. It can be really helpful for people with physical limitations. So if you're housebound or otherwise physically disabled, this can be really convenient. It's also just convenient in general. You can schedule the appointments for whenever you want to from the comfort of your own home or wherever you may be. It is decently affordable, so it's not going to be as affordable as the things I mentioned last week. Most states do require insurance plans to cover online therapy, so usually it will still be like covered by insurance to some degree. There's also something about the ease of information that makes it attractive. We may not feel comfortable talking to our friends or family members about mental health concerns, and so having such an easy to access resource, something in our back pocket to pull out, is really nice. So as with everything, there are some disadvantages. So the first is that not all insurance companies will cover this. So you do need to check with your own insurance if you are lucky enough to have it, if they even cover e-therapy. It also does complicate things a little bit. So some states don't allow for out-of-state providers. So for like insurance plans, meaning that if the therapist on the website is practicing in like Connecticut, but you live in like Utah, that may complicate things and you may not be able to get it covered by insurance.
Utah does exist.
As it is technology, and technology can be very fickle, some people are worried about the confidentiality and safety of their information, but most of these apps that I'm going to mention do have protection mechanisms in place to keep your information safe. Another downside is that online therapists can't respond quite as directly to crisis situations as in-person therapists. So my mom is a therapist, for example, and there's been times when patients have literally been right on the verge of hurting themselves, and she's actually physically gone and intervene. And so an online therapist who's practicing maybe 2 states away wouldn't be able to do that. A lot of these apps do have options to do things over sort of like text messaging, and so that sort of gets rid of that facial expression, body language, vocal intonation, like picking up sarcasm, that sort of thing, the same problems that we all have when we're texting. So that can sort of complicate things a little bit as well. And different states do have different legal and ethical codes that can once again be complicated when we're doing online therapy that may cross state lines. But that's more on like the technical side of it. So in general, these platforms are really good. I'm going to mention several today, the pros and cons of each, and a lot of them do sort of different things, so you can kind of like pick and choose which one may be best for you. Okay, and to be honest, I am going to sort of be reading off my phone just to make sure all the information about each app is correct. I sort of compiled some notes. So the first one is Talkspace, and this one has a really simple sign-up procedure. You'll just do this little survey, and it will sort of match you with a therapist that it thinks is best for you. And if you don't like the match, you can always switch. Most of these platforms allow you to switch therapists if you don't think it's a good fit, which is really nice. So their therapists will go through background checks, and they're usually specialized in different areas such as anxiety, depression, addiction, sleep problems, trauma, LGBT plus issues, or even veteran-related issues. And since they have over 3,000 licensed therapists in like such a wide variety of specialties, it's really likely that you'll find somebody that can work for you. Another nice thing about Talkspace is they offer 3 different payment plans. The first is $65 a week, so you get unlimited text, video, and audio messaging 5 out of 7 days a week with that one. The next is $79 a week. You get all the same things, but you get one live session a month. And then the third is $99. You get all the same things with 4 live sessions a month. So that would sort of be like traditional therapy. You meet once a week, but then with the addition of the app, you get that unlimited online text, audio messaging, that sort of thing, 5 out of 7 days a week. Which, if you're really sort of struggling day to day, this could be really beneficial. Another nice thing is that the therapists on this app have guaranteed response time. So this means that you're going to know that you're going to get a response in a timely fashion. Of course, there are some cons. So what I've seen of people reviewing the app that have used it is that some therapists may only provide short answers or even struggle to recall information that was talked about in previous sessions, which can definitely be annoying. Some don't even offer those live appointments. So if that's something you're looking for, you may have to like switch a therapist. And if you live outside the United States, figuring out time zones on this app can apparently be kind of complicated. Another thing is that they don't offer a free trial, and you have to be prepared to sign on for a whole month, and if you cancel early, you will still be billed. So it is sort of a big commitment for an app that doesn't even offer you a free trial. So even if you try it and you don't like it, you still sort of have financially committed to that whole first month. But overall, this is a really great service, especially for someone who is really struggling maybe day to day. So the one you've probably heard of before is BetterHelp, because like Shane Dawson and every other YouTuber on the planet has been sponsored by them. And this is a really good app. So they have over 4,000 licensed therapists, and all of these therapists have at least 3 years and 2,000 hours of hands-on therapy experience. So their therapists are going to be really experienced. You can sign up using a nickname if you'd rather than give out your real name, which some people might prefer. They will collect emergency contact information though. This is just in case there's ever a crisis situation, they can reach out if someone will help. This is something they do in face-to-face therapy, so this is not abnormal. After a quick assessment, you'll be matched usually within 24 hours, but you can always request a therapy change once again. Just like in Talkspace, the therapists also have a very wide variety of expertise, so like whatever you're specifically looking for, they will probably have. The difference about this app though is that chat is not in real time. So you'll like message out to your therapist and you'll get a response usually 2 to 3 times a day. It's not that lifetime chat like on Talkspace. So for the first month, it'll be $65 a week. And then after that, it goes from $35 to $80 per week, depending on what subscription length you pick. Like the longer you subscribe, the cheaper price you get. You can also always schedule a live chat with your therapist, but this will have an additional price. Something I really love about BetterHelp is that the therapist will often give worksheets for you to do between sessions, which is also something that they do in live therapy a lot. And this is so that you can continue working on yourself, continue growing, even when you're not actually talking to your therapist. This is very common in face-to-face therapy and has a lot of evidence supporting that it really does help people. Another amazing thing is that they also offer financial assistance if you're having trouble paying. So that's really, really great if you are struggling to meet the payment. BetterHelp also does have a 7-day free trial period, which is really, really great for you to figure out if you like it before you have to commit to paying $80 for it. So I think that's another really amazing thing about this website. The biggest con of this website is that there is not guaranteed response time. So you're not sure when those 2 to 3 messages each day will come in. So you're kind of just like waiting around for it, which can be troublesome to some people. But like I said, you can usually expect about 2 or 3 responses a day. And if you feel like yours isn't a good match, they take too long to reply, whatever, you can always switch therapists. This is gonna have so much editing, I'm gonna have to edit out so many ums, but. So a really good platform for couples is Regain, and they only do online couples counseling. So they address a ton of relationship issues from communication problems to even infidelity. And when you sign up, you can pick the age and gender of the therapist that you prefer. All therapists are gonna be licensed and experienced specifically in couples counseling. And the 2 of you in the couple can talk to the therapist together, or you can talk to the therapist separately. Once again, the chats aren't in real time, so you can usually expect 1 to 2 messages a day after you leave a message. You can also do phone calls or video calls, and the pricing ranges from $40 to $70 a week, depending on the plan you pick. And subscriptions can be canceled at any time, and payment will also be canceled, so unlike the first one, right, where you had to pay for the whole month. However, this one also does not have a free trial period, which can turn some people off from it. So if you just need a quick consultation, you're not looking to do full-blown online therapy, there's something you can check out called Amwell. So it's like AMWELL. And when you join the chat, you choose the service you're looking for, and they have stuff besides mental health. So they also have like dermatology and cardiology and like other normal stuff. So just like any healthcare related thing. And you get photos and bios for each of the different professionals, and then you can set up an appointment. So appointments usually range from $59 to $99 an appointment. However, the prices are actually going to usually be lower than that because they actually have a ton of insurances and networks. So the next one I mentioned in my last video briefly, and that's called 7 Cups of Tea. So this is a great one because you can speak with trained listeners for free. So if you need emotional support, but you're either like can't afford therapy, obviously, or you're not even sure if you want to go yet, this is a really good place. So they have like different chat rooms and forums for different issues. So like LGBT plus issues or like depression, anxiety. They even have one just for teenagers ages 13 through 17. And so you can go and chat with other people who are struggling, and you can be like emotional support for each other. And there's even trained people in there too to make sure like everything is going well. And you can be completely anonymous, so you don't have to like use your real name or anything like that. It's an anonymous chat room. You can also choose to speak with a licensed therapist for $33 a week, which is actually pretty on par with like how much therapy would cost normally. So that's a really good deal, much cheaper than some of the other options I've mentioned. They also offer a 3-day free trial for this like licensed therapist talking thing, so you can figure out if that's something that's gonna work for you. Once again, chat's not in real time. The therapist will usually reply once or twice a day. A nice thing about this app is you set out a routine with your therapist so you know when you'll message them and when they'll message back. A good one for LGBT plus specific issues is called Pride Counseling. So their goal is to offer discreet, affordable, and accessible treatment to LGBT people. And so they obviously work with like LGBT specific issues, but also sort of that conjoining factors. So if you're struggling with like depression, an eating disorder, anxiety, stress, parenting, grief, trauma, sleeping, family conflicts, religious conflicts, relationships, self-esteem, etc. So other things that often go hand in hand with being a member of the LGBT plus community. So all of their therapists are licensed and specialized in LGBT plus specific issues. You're matched in 24 hours and can schedule sessions that work with your time frame. But you can also message your therapist outside of those specific time frames if a special issue comes up. And their cost usually ranges from $40 to $70 a week billed monthly. So in my personal opinion, I think the best apps on here are going to be the Pride one for the LGBT people, 7 Cups of Tea if you're having trouble with money, or just overall, I have heard really, really great things about both BetterHelp and Talkspace. So I think all of these ones have really great pros to them. So just sort of, you know, pick the one that works best for you. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please like and subscribe. And until next time, bye y'all.